Good evening, friends. This is in continuation of my videos on Future Group and Amazon. In continuation of my letter of escalation to National Stock Exchange, myself and one of the investor, Mr. Darpan Raj, we had visited the National Stock Exchange office today in Mumbai on an invitation for a meeting by head of listing department. I have a definite thank you message for the National Stock Exchange team for allowing us on behalf of all the retail investors to meet them, and they have definitely treated us very well, and we could get an opportunity to meet the concerned senior-most officers and put forth our points. Primarily, we have demanded certain inquiries relating to the future retail in terms of the disclosures made on the website relating to assets transferred to Reliance as appeared in the media on 16th of March, and their response to exchange on 16th of March stating that the assets were taken over by the Reliance not out of free consent but by way of force. I have pointed out to the National Stock Exchange that how we were not informed about certain things. For example, in the month of February, when on 26th of February, when Future Retail addressed a letter to National Stock Exchange, they just mentioned termination notices were received in terms of their stores, malls, stating that on account of financial difficulties, this, that, whatever they have stated. But there is no clarity. You have received termination notices from whom, whether it is from Reliance. We have requested the department concerned, that is listing department, to get into the matter and raise further queries to Future Retail on our point of observations. So now, if based on these things, the concerned department has assured me that they will raise these issues with Future Retail and call for their comments. We have raised our concern relating to a sudden transfer of so many stores leading to collapse of the stock price and also collapse of the trust of investors placed on this group. It may or may not be a mandatory disclosure, but it is a material disclosure. The company should have told us that Reliance is terminating and taking over so many stores. Here I have raised an objection. If Reliance has taken over the stores, then what will happen to the offer of Reliance? I have told the regulator that we were under impression that the stores are getting transferred to Reliance based on an understanding which is in line with the amalgamation process which was due for voting on at material time. The point here is, eventually the stores have gone to Reliance, and it is admitted by the Future Group by way of their letter, the Future Retail by way of their letter, that the stores have been acquired by force. And I have pointed out to the stock exchange the media reports wherein Future Retail has mentioned we will take over these assets from Reliance, we will take all the necessary steps. So I have requested the regulator, that is the exchange, to clarify and demand a clarification from Future Retail about the latest position on the process of taking over of these assets from Reliance. The concerned officer, the in charge the head of department of listing has assured me that he will address a letter to the Future Retail and seek a latest update on the matter of restoration of the stores upon Future Group from Reliance. I have also requested the officers to conduct an inquiry with regard to the letter addressed by Future Retail to NSE listing department on 9th of March 2022, wherein they have stated that they have received notices from the licensors with respect to 342 large stores and 493 small stores. 835 notices were suddenly received by Future Retail. I have asked the question whether they have replied to these notices or they have taken any legal measures and or they have suddenly transferred all these stores under protest or whatever. So it is a matter of inquiry to be conducted by the National Stock Exchange. They have assured me that they will get into this. Apart from this, I have raised my concern relating to the resignation of directors. I have raised my concern about how the company will be managed in view of resignation by the CEO and also non-continuation of the managing director, Mr. Rakesh Biyani, on account of completion of his term. So, whole thing is when 835 stores have received notice, over 800-900 stores have been handed over to Reliance. Assurance has been given to exchange that they will, Future Retail will take over these assets, how the company is going to function, what would be the impact on certain mandatory disclosures. So the exchange has assured me they will verify the LOD disclosures by the Future Retail. They will cross-check these details, and in the event of submission of the details in an incomplete manner, they will call for complete information from the company. If the company is providing any inaccurate or inadequate information, the exchange concerned officers have assured me that they will try to conduct an inquiry and submit their closure report to SEBI. On account of the conduct of the directors and certain observations and their responsibility relating to the transactions executed during their tenure, that also I have pointed out to them, which they have assured me that on merits they will look into the matter and within their legal framework they will definitely discharge their duties, and they have attributed very highest importance to this case, and within known time they are going to form a small team which is going to be deployed for analyzing and studying this case, and therefore we are hopeful that some details will come to us, some inquiry will happen, and till then I request all the retail shareholders to have patience, trust the regulator, trust the judiciary, trust SEBI, so that if there is any finding, they will definitely act upon it. Our responses towards the exchanges have to be very matured, and therefore we are maintaining a very good decorum and we are approaching them on record in a very systematic manner. Though we are retail investors, we are not going in large numbers. Only responsible one or two representatives are approaching the regulators, and through this mechanism we are briefing you. Thank you very much, and we wish some resolution either through Amazon or through Future Retail or through the bankers or through some due process should come, so that everybody gets some relief out of this entire transaction, which has put lot of stress on retail investors, HNI investors, and also institutional investors and bondholders, and lastly the banks. So with these submissions, with this update, I just end this today's video. Thank you for your support. You have to support yourself, you have to stand by yourself, you have to support your families. We are getting a lot of disturbing messages, so all retailers should come forward, retail investors should show the required amount of unity So all of us raise our voice, approach SEBI, point out your injustice, point out your decisions taken on the basis of certain assurances given by all these people, the information available on public domain, so that we can pray for some justice and some relief and closure with regard to this entire transaction. Thank you very much.